May 22nd, 2021. We're in beautiful Grand Central Terminal, not Grand Central Station. Some Metro North employees don't like that. They get very vociferous about calling it Grand Central Station. Can't do that. And we're going to go to Poughkeepsie today, do a little train watching, a little hiking. So should be a decent day for it. Joe's doing his thing. Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
All right.
Excited for a fun ride today.
Oh yeah. Is that the first of 25,000 photographs?
Probably the 200th of 25,000.
Oh, well. Looking forward to it. Two excited kids. Well, I'm a 67-year-old kid. This place never ceases to amaze. Anyone who comes to New York and comes into this place and doesn't like it, they're brain dead. Right there in the center is the information booth with a clock on top. For many years, that was a famous meeting place in New York City. People would say, meet me at the clock at Grand Central Terminal. One of the best places to eat in Grand Central and get a great view of the waiting room is the Cipriani Dolce restaurant. It's not open now. It's only 10:20 in the morning. Here we're walking to the front of our train to Poughkeepsie. Joe's here. There's John Paul, one of the Metro North engineers, but he's not ours. He's on a layover, waiting for a train to Croton Harmon later on. He's going to see us off. Now, we don't have a New Haven painted unit on this train. Testing the horn and the bell. Highlights of this trip to Poughkeepsie. We're going through Harlem. Just came out of the tunnel approaching 125th Street. Nothing really noteworthy. It's a Park Avenue viaduct. Through Mott Haven Junction in the Bronx, and we passed a train from Poughkeepsie most likely. 227, it's a P32 ACDM, painted just like the one that's pulling us, number 211. And we got some M3s at the High Bridge Maintenance Facility. Metro North takes pretty good care of their M3s. They look in better shape. At least they're still running on the Long Island. They're not running. High Bridge Station for the shop. And nothing much here. I think we're around the cloisters around this area, aren't we?
There's that horn.
Yeah, want to get that horn. It sounds pretty good. Nice bridge. River in the background is the Harlem River. During the summer season, the Circle Line operates boat tours that go completely around Manhattan. They go up this river.
Did I tell you that I rode the Circle Line as my 5th grade graduation trip?
Ah.
That was fun.
But still fun. Hey, he's really honking that K5 LA horn. That's why, workers. That bridge overhead is the #1 subway line. Crosses over us here at Marble Hill. It's a stop on Metro North. That's the Harlem River. Get a good view of it. Heading west. Marble Hill Station. You can see how close you are to the railroad when you're riding on the Circle Line. Well, here is the Spiten Bridge. Where the Harlem River ends and empties out into the Hudson River. That bridge you see going across the end of the river is the Amtrak line, the Penn Station, the West Side line. Several years ago, this area was the site of a deadly wreck. An engineer coming down from Poughkeepsie, I think, going to New York, rounded this curve too fast. He had sleep apnea. Train turned over, made a real mess here. Now they've installed PTC, so speed controlled now, so it shouldn't happen again. Now we're finally along the Hudson River, where we will be all the way up to Poughkeepsie. That's New Jersey on the other side there. Trying to get passing trains if I'm aware of them. It's like another push-pull. See what kind of power is on the back. Putnam, Thelonious Monk, Bethel. And that was a pretty badly painted engine. Yeah, we're moving pretty good. I think we're around Dobbs Ferry. Train coming. Hastings on Hudson. Train 7A's just passed. Croton Harmon to New York local. Passing a lot of trains. Just past Dobbs Ferry. Metro North P32. I've seen quite a few of them. I know they run fuel runs from Croton Harmon to New York. Croton Harmon is a major fueling facility for Metro North.
There we go. I got the shot I wanted.
Ardsley on the Hudson. As you can see, these stations are... Oh, look at this. Work train. Welded rail. See in the distance, well, used to be the Tappan Zee Bridge. Now it's the Mario Cuomo Bridge. Ex-governor. The old Tappan Zee Bridge structure is completely gone. I doubt that. Well, here we're hugging the river. We're near Scarborough. That's a station where you really feel the breeze off the water when you're waiting for a train. Four-track railroad here. Very busy. about years ago on the New York Central when the 20th Century Limited was leaving New York. People would be sitting in the dining car looking out at this splendor, having their champagne and their steak dinner, pheasant under glass, parfaits. 20th Century Limited was one hell of a train. It's too bad it didn't last that long. It was ended in December of '67, but it was fast. 16 hours to Chicago. 960-mile trip. That's 60 mile an hour exactly average speed. Although I think in later years it was slower. Not a very sunny day today, but no rain, but feels like summer. It's going to be in the 80s. Not terribly humid, I hope. When we get to Poughkeepsie, we want to do some hiking. Over there, you can see a piece of land jutting out there on the horizon. That's Croton Point. Okay, here comes Scarborough right here. Summer day and you're waiting for a train in New York and you want to cool off, just jump over the railing and you're on the river. Wouldn't recommend it though if you're trying to go to work. The structure you see on the right here, that's an auctioning institution. That's Sing Sing Prison, Auctioning, New York. Like I said earlier, that piece of land over there, that's Croton Point. Some of the highlands on the other side of the river behind it. Coming into Croton Harmon, side of a huge Metro North shop and yard.
Kayakers?
Coming into Croton Harmon now, going over a bridge. And you'll see the complex for Metro North. They have a shop here. This was always a very important place. Back in New York Central days, they had all kinds of electric locomotives, steam locomotives, diesel locomotives. Back in New York Central days, with all the limiteds they ran, the great steel fleet, they used to stop and change locomotives here. There was always something going on here at Croton Harmon. Still a busy place, but as far as long distance service is concerned, it's minimal and no more engine changes. Croton Harmon Station. Croton Harmon, a name synonymous with New York Central big-time railroading. The yard here used to be loaded with Hudsons, Mohawks, Niagaras, steam engines, waiting to take charge of the great steel fleet. They ran a lot of famous passenger trains out of here. 20th Century Limited, the Commodore Vanderbilt, Pacemaker, Fifth Avenue Special, the Detroiter, the Cleveland Limited, the Southwestern Limited, the Ohio State Limited, Chicagoan, and that's just a small portion of it. The Mohawk. There's some M3s over here. There's an M7A and an M3A. tell you, the M3s on Metro North, they look 100 times better than Long Island's. Ugh. You see that building there? It's not too good, but that was the old Croton North passenger station. There's a couple of old Lackawanna MU cars sitting over there too. They've been there for years. Croton North used to be the terminus for some electric trains years ago, but that's long gone. Here's the remnants of Croton North Yard. CSX used to switch here. I remember seeing Conrail trains work out of here. Nothing left now. They're ripping the tracks up. Now we're down to a 3-track non-electrified line. Track closest to the river is a lead from the old Croton North Yard. It'll come out at an interlocking called CP Osca, OSCA. Osca represents the community of Oscawana. We're coming up on Oscawana Tunnel. But before that, that track joins up with the main. There it is, CP Oscar. Might have a different name now. Metro North likes to use numbers. And here comes Oscawana Tunnel. You'll be able to see it. It Oscawana Tunnel coming into Peekskill. Rye really gets scenic after here. Pulling out of Peekskill, first grade crossing is just up ahead. Wimped out on that horn, jeez. It's an outrage.
We'll get him in Manitou probably.
Well, he's going to stop there. He probably won't be blowing hard there either. Yes,
well, we'll get him up at Chelsea. I know that.
I don't know how many crossings are up there. I think there's at least a couple.
There's 2. There's one in Chelsea, and then there's one up by Poughkeepsie.
New Hamburg?
Yeah.
There we go. On the opposite side is the CSX River line. That's right alongside the water. Don't see any trains though. Metro North Hudson Line ranks up there with the top scenic commuter railroad lines in the New York area. Honorable mention is the Port Jervis Line. Gladstone branch in Jersey Transit's nice, but doesn't have scenery like this. I think this area is called Roahook. Right here we're getting to the narrowest part of the Hudson River, where the Bear Mountain Bridge crosses over the Hudson is pretty narrow. There's the Bear Mountain Bridge right there. This area behind the bridge on that side is part of Bear Mountain State Park. And that's Bear Mountain. You can drive right up to the top of that and get a stunning view of the railroad. This railroad and the one on the other side, CSX. It's the old New York Central River Line, or West Shore Route to be correct. It's a Bear Mountain Bridge. Appalachian Trail goes over it. Going under a tunnel that goes under it. Approaching Manitou. Station. This is a stop for hikers, and we're making that stop. It's a weekend only stop. For a while they didn't stop here during the pandemic, but now they've started it up again. Great. Now we're coming into Garrison. Garrison Station. Right across the river. That building over there is part of West Point Military Academy. Garrison was used in a scene from Hello, Dolly. They made the old train station here. They dressed it up to make it look like Yonkers. Put a big sign on it and everything. Now here's the depot that they dressed up for that movie. Phillipstown Depot Theater. Joe, maybe you'll perform in there one day.
We'll see. We'll see.
Now that things are opening up.
I wouldn't complain about it. Got the trains right here.
You wouldn't? Oh, I'm surprised. Well, we're going through a tunnel here. On this track only. General Electric sound in a tunnel. Ad nauseum. Can't see West Point, but there it is. My companion and I are debating, talking about why I hate GE so much. I mean, they just were. They don't make. There's no charm to them. Not like a 645 or a 567 or a 710 General Motors locomotive. The older GEs, I must admit, sound pretty good with their putt-putt-putt. The U-34CHs the Erie Lackawanna had sounded really good. But, I don't know. I'm a General Motors guy through and through. Just north of Garrison, look over there, you see a CSX freight southbound. Double stack train. See those light tan-colored containers? Those are Mediterranean Shipping Corp containers. And we're arriving Cold Spring, one of the gems of the Hudson Valley. This is Cold Spring Station, charming town, nice riverfront promenade, nice downtown area, and they have an old train depot they turned into a restaurant and sit outdoors right by the tracks and eat a delicious hamburger. We're going to eat there later this evening. So my traveling companion and I are having a discrepancy about GE versus EMD. I mean, you know how much I love EMD. What is it about GEs that you like so much?
I don't like most GEs, but I feel like I have a personal connection to the Genesis locomotives. I used to actually come to this stop, Cold Spring, like every fall when I was a kid. My mom and I would take the train up. There would always be a G hauling my train, and I don't know, there's something about the sound when they rev up that I really like. I know you don't really like it that much, Tim, but to me it sounds pretty cool.
Well, you have a right to your opinion, buddy. It's sentimental from your childhood, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we all
I'll be
have.
sad when they're gone, replaced by Siemens locomotives.
Yeah. It's just when I was a kid, there were General Motors locomotives all over the place, and Alcos, and they sounded good too.
Yeah.
Even Baldwins, but we didn't have any on Long Island, but mainly Alcos and the Jeep 38s. I mean, I was like overdosed on those. I loved them, and ever since then, I guess that's why I like General Motors, because those Jeep 38s really made a nice sound when they started up with a train. And you know, I'm from a different era, so I guess different eras have different opinions. What are you gonna do? But I respect your opinion. Well,
I respect your opinion too, Tim.
are you sure?
Yeah, of course, of course.
I'll forgive you, Joe. I'll forgive you. Thanks. There's Breakneck Ridge. No, not Breakneck. Storm King Mountain is what that is.
We're going under Breakneck Ridge and any second.
Yeah, we're going through a tunnel under Breakneck Ridge on this side. There it is.
We should have Bannerman's Castle coming
Yeah.
in a minute.
Who would have thought you'd have scenery like this so close to New York City?
It's like the Rhine. That's what it's like.
Well, the Rhine has railroads on both sides, but they're much busier than these.
Yeah.
It's like endless, from what people tell me. I don't know if we're going to stop at Breakneck Ridge.
I don't think we just
We blew by
blew
it.
right past
Oh,
it.
here's Bannerman's Castle right here.
One of the prettiest spots. I gotta get a photo of that.
Scenery, you can't beat it on this line.
Beautiful.
Over there is the south end of Newburgh, New York. Some kind of a refinery. Another freight train over there, I can see it.
Yeah, look at that.
Manifest. Looks like it's way up there. Look at it. See it? It's going right through downtown Newburgh over there. We're not too far from John Terry's place. John lives near here. He lives in New Windsor.
The Flying Yankee.
Yep. He's probably home watching the Yankees this afternoon. So I don't think he's flying anywhere except to the kitchen to get a beer every inning. We just departed Beacon, and this colossal double structure is the Interstate 84 Bridge. Next Beacon with Newburgh. Eventually heads towards the New York Thruway interchange, down to Port Jervis, New York, and on towards Scranton, Pennsylvania. Good old Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Your favorite place, right, Tim?
What's that?
It's your favorite place, right?
Oh yeah. Granddaughter goes to school there. It's the birthplace of presidents. Steamtown. Legendary city from the TV show The Office. It's definitely on the map. The next stop is New Hamburg. Used to be a station between here and there called Chelsea, but that's gone.
We'll have a crossing there. They're going to blow a horn. Yeah, we're actually almost at Chelsea. Just gotta go through Fishkill first.
Got a couple of crossings at least between here and Poughkeepsie.
I think it's two. Chelsea and then I forget the name of the other place.
There's a few north of Poughkeepsie going up to Albany. A few more, not a lot of them though. Taking it kind of slow. We're on the westward track. Back over.
Get ready for Chelsea.
Yeah. Grade crossing at Chelsea.
There's your horn sequence.
Yeah, where's the other one? See the Poughkeepsie Bridge yet? I don't think.
We might be able to. It's just really hazy right now, but you know.
Yeah. Some kind of it's like a power plant over there. Yeah, I can just make it out. We're still about like 10 miles away from Poughkeepsie, but I can see the bridge. Poughkeepsie has like a suspension bridge. They call it the Mid-Hudson Bridge. But the most famous bridge that we're interested in is the walkway over the Hudson. An old railroad bridge, the old New Haven Railroad Bridge, turned into a superbly scenic hiking trail. Definitely worth a visit if you've never been on it. It's almost 200 feet in the air. Track equipment. A very important railroad for passenger trains between the Hudson Line trains to Poughkeepsie that run every hour, and off-peak hours you got a lot of Amtrak trains between New York, Albany, some to Niagara Falls, and a few days a week to Chicago, New Hamburg. Just north of the station is a very high arched bridge. I would imagine you get some superb views of the railroad from up there.
That is about right.
Yeah. Joe was enthralled by the sound of the G laboring to a start. These things are not very fast out of the gate. General
They have a
Motors
good
unit.
sound, though.
Yeah. General Motors sound. General Motors engine. You put the throttle back and run 8. The thing takes off. Almost breaks your neck. This doesn't compare to a GP38 starting up a passenger train.
Is this the bridge you were talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the bridge. It's way up there. Now, when it comes to GE, I'll grant you this. The older freight engines like the U-boats, they sounded good. Even some of the earlier models like the B-23-7s, they sounded good. I heard one switching in Geneva, New York on the Finger Lakes last week. And that pop, 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 that really kind of reminiscent of Alcos. Those Alcos are really good. Too bad they don't make them anymore. And, you know, GM is king. Every engineer I've spoken to, they all brag about how great General Motors units are. The only problem with GM is they didn't mass produce the low emission engines the way GE did. And they were slow to embrace AC traction. GE beat them to that punch too. So that's why you see so many General Motors Gevos out there. AC traction motors and low emissions. They're starting to come out with General Motors engines with low emissions like the SD70 ACE T4s. But there aren't too many of them around. Well, you see the SD70 ACE P4s. No, I'm getting it backwards. The T4s are starting to come out. CSX, UP have a few.
What's this coming up? Is that like a grain mill or something?
There's a barge.
Stone quarry? Maybe?
Cement plant?
Cement plant, yeah.
I would say it's a cement plant. Enough GE versus GM talk. I don't want to have any bloodshed on this trip.
You're the one who keeps bringing it up, Tim.
Oh, well, you keep reminding me, oh, I love GEs. Oh. You know, you're getting my dander up. Better watch out for me when we get up on that bridge.
Yeah.
Nah,
Right.
just good-natured ribbing. That's all it is, I think. Look at all this equipment here. Next stop is Poughkeepsie. I'll never forget, Poughkeepsie reminds me of an old Laurel and Hardy film called Pack Up Your Troubles. They had this little kid whose father died. The kid's name was Smith. And they were trying to find the kid's grandparents so they could take care of her. So they're looking up in the phone book for all these Smiths, going to people's houses with the name Smith. Finally, one morning, Hardy got up and Laurel was gone. And they asked the kid, "Where's Laurel?" He says, "Oh, he went out very early this morning." Finally, Laurel came home and he says, "Where were you?" He says, "Well, I went all the way to Poughkeepsie, and that ain't them." And he showed Hardy a box of Smith Brothers cough drops. Long-time Poughkeepsie institution. I think they're still there. I don't know. Getting a lot of horn blowing here. Now I can see the Poughkeepsie Bridge real good. Poughkeepsie, you know, whether you love it or hate it, it's a hiker's dream. With the walkway over the Hudson, it's an old rail trail on the west end of it. below 71.0, I know that.
Now we're slowing down.
Yeah. Now, Poughkeepsie's a hiker's dream. The walkway over the Hudson connects a couple of hiking trails to the east and west. To the west, it's the old railroad trail. And what's the name of that park on the mountain, Joe?
Franny Reese State Park.
Franny
I went
Reese
there
State
last
Park.
fall.
I'd love to go up there, but it's a steep climb to get up there, though.
It is. It is.
I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, Franny Reese is right behind the Poughkeepsie Bridge there. There it is, the Poughkeepsie Bridge. Many years ago, this is going way back, decades, there used to be a cruise ship from New York City, the Hudson River Dayliner. It was a side-wheeler. It used to go up from some pier in Manhattan, would stop at Bear Mountain and West Point, discharge and pick up passengers, and it would come all the way up here and turn around under that bridge. What a wonderful daytime ride on the river that must have been. There's a trail on that bridge. Poughkeepsie's got hiking trails all over it, and it crosses the river on that bridge. And we're coming into Poughkeepsie. It's 12:40. We're right on time. And there's the walkway over the Hudson in the background. It's way up there. Couple of restaurants near here. Poughkeepsie, last stop. Good ride up, good ride up. Amtrak 233, New York to Albany, Rensselaer. This magnificent building here is the Poughkeepsie train station. Notice the New York Central logo still on the building. It was built in 1918. One of the more memorable train stations that I have ever been in. And it has bathrooms, a men's room and a ladies' room, which is unforgettable. Why? Draw your own conclusions. Now by the riverfront, Poughkeepsie, there's the walkway over the Hudson. We got a CSX southbound freight coming. is really narrow here. You can get a great view of CSX from here at this park. Joe, I'm glad I finished my lunch a little quicker. Great view. Now we're taking the elevator to climb up to the top of this railroad bridge, the old railroad bridge. Poughkeepsie's most famous tourist attraction, and it has been most successful. If it wasn't for this elevator, I'd have to take an awfully long walk to get to the east end of the bridge. One time I came up here and their elevator was closed and I had to walk.
And then the one with the points on the top is the Culinary Institute of America.
Oh, wow. We've been there. Remember?
Culinary? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's open. In the summer, usually they close for hiatus. They have unemployment.
Poughkeepsie, New York, one of the great tourist towns of New York. Up and coming. These hiking trails, this bridge, hiking trails all over. It's just a great place to hike. Lots of good restaurants here. We ate at Mahoney's right by the train station. Very good food. Here we are. Nice view of the Poughkeepsie Station from the bridge. Looking south. At 2:10 we have a southbound Amtrak coming into Poughkeepsie. And that's train 284 from Niagara Falls, New York to New York City. Saw that train a lot last week. Now we're walking west on the walkway over the Hudson. It's about as close to being air conditioned as you can get up here. It's kind of a muggy day, cloudy, but no rain. Get some great views here. Can't keep up with it. Well, at 2:40 p.m. we got a train arriving from Grand Central. He's got a New Haven Heritage unit on the point. Unfortunately, he's not coming this far. But Amtrak 283 from New York to Niagara Falls is due in a few minutes. And 3:05, after a little delay here, 283 is departing en route to Niagara Falls, New York. We were concentrating so much on Amtrak we missed the northbound CSX. You can see it on the other side of the river. And he had an SD40-2 on the point. On it. And 3:12, here comes train 292, the Ethan Allen Express. Not from Vermont, but from Albany Rensselaer. Amtrak service to Vermont will return triumphantly on July the 19th. Looking south from the bridge. Stunning view. Not a bad day. Cloudy. No rain. A little muggy though. It's about 82 degrees. Looking north. Nice breeze up here. 200 feet above the water, there should be a breeze. Nice colonial structures here at Upper Landing Park in Poughkeepsie.
A muggy day today. This little stream going in the Hudson. I'd sure like to jump in.
Cold Spring from here at 4:48, and got this shoving us. We're heading down to Cold Spring now. We just left Poughkeepsie. Gonna have dinner at Cold Spring Depot, hopefully. Do a little train watching while we dine. The track workers out there. We're sitting, I think, in the fourth car back. We got a New Haven painted P32 shoving. Sitting well behind the cab car. It's a good thing because the horn makes me nauseous. So cement plant. Tilcon cement plant. And there's the Interstate 84 bridge approaching Beacon. And that's Newburgh on the other side. Yeah. If you look closely, you can see a northbound CSX in Newburgh. It's going behind that building in the middle. Just got off Cold Spring. Watch this beautiful New Haven painted P32 shove its way to New York. Well, when you hear a sound like that and when you see a paint scheme like that, you almost forget it's a GE. So we're eating at a place you've been pestering us to eat at for a long time.
Yeah.
We didn't eat here last summer. Finally got here today, May 22nd, 2021. Sign that the pandemic is winding down. With the Cold Spring Depot, Cold Spring, New York. We got railroad tracks right over there.
My favorite spot as a
drinks.
kid. I took the train up here every fall, and my family and I would grab lunch here and then go back home.
Oh, just came up here just to have lunch. No.
Well, we walked around, we explored, we took pictures.
Well, it's a nice town. A lot of shops, nice waterside scenes here.
Yeah.
This restaurant, and the train action is pretty good too.
Yeah, definitely.
If you like passenger trains, yeah. I want to sit here until the 20th Century Limited goes through, okay? I think I need a time machine to do that. So
You're gonna have to hope that time goes backward.
yeah, right. Unfortunately, my watch seems to be going forward, so that won't work. Oh well. Glad we finally got to come here again. Let's eat and rail fan. Well, here we are at the Cold Spring Depot, one of my favorite places to eat and drink and watch the trains. And this is a great spot. It's kind of a stuffy day. I need a cold drink, and this is about as good a drink as ever. So here's to spirit of railroading, And trackside food and spirits, can't beat that. Sounds like it's going north. That was a bonus. I think that was a deadhead move going north, Metro North. Oh, that looks good. Take my sweet old time. Hopefully get several trains here. Got a southbound Amtrak 244 from Albany to New York too. 244 from Albany to New York. That woke me up. And here we have a northbound Metro North for Poughkeepsie. Just pulled out of Cold Spring at 6:10. Gonna serenade us for dinner. Location is the West Point Foundry Preserve in Cold Spring, New York. See the railroad bridge in the background. And a northbound Metro North due at 7:08. Standing on a elevated stairway promenade overlooking Metro North's track over Foundry Cove. Very peaceful here. All kinds of wildlife around. I just saw a cardinal fly by, there's fish in the water, and I saw a gopher up here. Gopher or mole. Well, here comes the northbound for Poughkeepsie. Lovely echo. Here comes a Metro North New York bound train at 7:20 p.m. Hear that? We're down at the riverfront at Cold Spring. This beautiful riverfront promenade with the mountains around. It's about the prettiest part of the Hudson River, and I can hear a distant horn signaling approach of a CSX freight. And the horn sounds a little odd. .40, we got a southbound CSX train coming, but they don't look like CSX units on the point. looks like a crude oil train. From what I can gather, it's a CP unit followed by an NS unit. Best CSX pick of the day. Yeah, it's getting late. It's 8:08. Here we have our northbound Metro North train for Poughkeepsie. This will be the last train we see here at Cold Spring before we get on the train back to New York momentarily. What's turned out to be a very nice day. A little humid, cloudy, but no rain. And he's off. Next stop is Beacon. No, I don't think this is our train back to New York. Oh, what is this? This is train 241 sitting here. I heard an announcement on board that something happened up ahead. Maybe there was a pedestrian strike. Seems to be contagious with that this week. Been sitting here for a while. My train to New York will be coming on this track instead of that one. Showing a little girl out the windows. We're coming to Peekskill. 5T can never compare to that. Oh,
Speed restrictor.
I saw the advanced 30 miles.
K5 LLAs be damned. Listen to this one.
Apparently you got some really bad traffic. out
Must
there.
be on drugs.
There's the Buddha. See the Buddha?
See that electronic bell?
See the Buddha?
There's a
Big skill.
Buddha monument.